On this episode of Real Estate on the Rocks, we're going to talk about the top 5 reasons real estate agents should start a YouTube channel right now.
Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
All right, welcome back to Real Estate on the Rocks. My name's Dave Snowberger, and I'm joined via Zoom today with my co-host, Ryan Baker, up in New York. Ryan, what's going on?
Hello, everyone.
There we go. Hello, everyone. All right, man. So today we're going to get right to it, and we're going to start talking. Last week's podcast was about 5 best videos to do on YouTube. So we're kind of going backwards here, and these are the reasons really why you should start a YouTube channel. Real estate agents should start a YouTube channel immediately. I know a lot of people, like I was, intimidated by the camera, intimidated by a YouTube channel, thinking maybe that YouTube was saturated, because I see a lot of people in the industry that have YouTube channels. I see a lot of folks out there on the RETV, and there's a few other real estate Facebook pages, real estate agent Facebook pages that are really revolve or hover around YouTube. So I was thinking maybe that area was already taken. And then once I started opening my eyes to just content in general, you realize, man, there's just so much out there that, you can't possibly appeal to everyone. So some of these people aren't even in my market. Most of them aren't in my market. And it doesn't matter if you were doing the same exact YouTube video reason or videos that they're doing, it's going to come out 100% differently. So we'll get into that in a minute, but I do want to talk about really focus on the top 5 reasons to start the YouTube channel now. Ryan, what's number 1?
Yeah, so the first reason you're going to want to start a channel is to find your audience. Like you said, you're not going to appeal to everyone. So find the people that you appeal to. It's a self-elimination process. I think as much as we'd like everybody to like us, I think it's probably just human nature to want, everybody to like you. But I'm sure you don't like everybody. I don't like everybody you meet. Some people you just get along with, some people you don't. And by having that YouTube channel out there, your personality's out there. It's the second best thing to having, one-on-one contact with people, and being standing in front of them is on a screen, talking to them just like we are now. And those people can, if they don't like you, they're going to move on. You don't have to waste your time with people who aren't going to, you're just not going to get along with. You different personality types just don't get along sometimes. And so you find your audience by doing that. It's a self-eliminating process. You find the people who do like you, who are attracted to you, who like the sound of your voice and the way corny jokes that you make. And, those are the people that you're going to gel with. And it's just a lot easier, obviously, as real estate agents. You gotta have a pretty strong relationship whenever you're trying to buy or sell a house with somebody. So YouTube channel, you find your audience, you find those people who are going to want to work with you to begin with.
Yeah, that's smart. It's really kind of, we spoke about this in the past, and I always preface things like that. We spoke about this. So if anybody caught it, is that you build that avatar of the people that you want to work with. I think I brought that up in last week's podcast. It's the same difference here, is that, you find your audience so you can build that avatar. Who's going to pay attention to your videos? Who cares? Right? I mean, not like who cares, who doesn't care. Who cares about seeing your stuff is who you want to really resonate with. And you can have a small group of, maybe if you start a YouTube channel, it's not going to go through the roof immediately. You're not going to take on, you're not going to have 1,000 or 10,000 subscribers right off the bat. However, if you had 20 people that viewed your content that you were putting out, whether it's going to be listing videos of new listings, or working with buyers, or how to do just kind of like how-to videos like we covered last week, you're going to speak to 20 people that are going to have you on the top of their minds when somebody mentions real estate. And so that's the biggest thing here, is you're just building you're building your top of mind awareness with those 20 people. And so, hey, my cousin Harry's moving to California, he needs a house. Can you help him? It's like, well, I'm in Texas, but I do have a referral arm. So I have an agent out there. Yeah, man, I can help them. and they thought about me because they didn't know anybody in California, and Harry didn't know anybody in California. So therefore it works right there. You're trying to get in front of as many people as possible. And this is the easiest way to do it. And then once you start this, you're going to start really the process of elimination, knowing what's working for you and what's not,
Right.
and it might take you some time, but you have to stay consistent at it. I think you more than likely agree with that, Ryan. You have to stay consistent on it. You can't just make 10 videos and be done. You have to consistently put out content, right? And so number one is great. So find your audience there. So number two.
So number two is a direction. So claim your brand, figure out what direction you want to take your channel. And this is where I think, like, especially as real estate agents, we've kind of, like I said, we talked about before, it's hard to sometimes do that because there's only so many top five ways to get your home ready to sell, or the best ways to stage a kitchen, or, there's only so many of those videos you can make before they just become kind of mundane and boring, so you're claiming your brand and your direction. Be the ambassador that, they talk about the digital mayor and stuff like that. Talk about your community. Do things outside of real estate, but whatever it is, claim your direction. You're trying to build trust, and you want people to know, like, and trust you. And that's the whole point. So whatever is going to do that, just claim that and work towards your making a brand for yourself.
Right. I'm not that good. It seems like you've been really starting down the path of doing videos like you're talking about right here, but just kind of 5 best tips to stage a kitchen, 5 best tips to stage, what to expect, 5 things to expect when you go on the market. You've been doing those type of videos, and I go the different route of the digital mayor of really kind of localizing myself in my town, in my market with food, right? So I have Wilco Eats, and anybody out there can go. I have all the real estate for that. So you can go to Facebook and see it and join the group. You can go over to Instagram and look at all the pictures and videos that I do there. That's what I've chosen to do here. And I'm circling the wagons around. My direction right there is that my page, if you go over to Snowburger Realty Group, has just that. So I didn't know which direction that page was going because I had 4 or 5 YouTube pages, and it was so hard for me to keep up with anything that I was doing, and it just kind of like didn't have the bandwidth. I'll use that word a lot today. Didn't have the bandwidth to take care of 5 pages. So I didn't do anything at all. But once I started looking into YouTube a little bit more, I realized that I could actually bring in different pages almost, or different categories. So I have my real estate in there. I have Wilco Eats, and then I have some other things that I'm starting to do now, how-to videos, right? And so nobody needs to learn how to cook a brisket from me. Like they're not waking up in the morning and tripping across or saying, hey man, I wonder if Dave's got a video on there about cooking brisket, However, lots of people are tripping across it, and I just got a notification from YouTube that I have, I don't know how much time, I'd have to go pull it up, but 1,400 minutes that video has been watched. And apparently that's an accomplishment with YouTube. I'm not sure. And so my direction, I'm starting to narrow it down. And so what this is about is that once you start your YouTube channel, it's going to be messy. However, I believe if you keep content in front of you and you keep consistent, you're going to start kind of a process of elimination, finding out what people care about and what people don't care about. And then it's really got to be what you care about, I think. So
yeah, I mean, I think you got to provide value. I think if you put the people first that you want to, who are the people you're trying to get to click subscribe on your channel? Right. Think about what they want, because that's really what's going to help you grow your channel, I think. But the, shoot, I just lost my train of thought there. Right. But what you were saying about your, I kind of took it a different way, I guess. The Wilco Eat deal, that's awesome. People love it. It's community, right? That food and kids, and people just seem to eat those kind of videos up. But I kind of took it as I needed to do like an 80-20 thing. We talk about the Pareto principle a lot, the 80-20 rule and all that good stuff. Don't talk about real estate. Talk about real estate 20% of the time or even less, right? 10%, 7%, whatever. But I think in the beginning, people need to see the real estate side. Right. For me. Yeah. I'm building out the real estate side. This is how you stage a house. This is, the video this week, this is how to sell a house virtually. This is how, but then more, last week we did an app review on a plant app that had nothing to do with anything real estate. We didn't even talk about real estate at all. And that's okay. but it's kind of one of those, I want 80% of my stuff right now to be real estate and 20% to be that. And then I think once I get that kind of basis of videos built up, that's when I'm going to shift it kind of the other way around. Start working towards 80% community stuff and 20% real estate. Basically, real estate sprinkled in everything else.
See, and that's smart. And what you did there was the difference of where we are, right, in growing this stuff. And I've never really done the videos on how to stage the house. And I've had my assistant for years tell me, we need to do this, we need to do this. And there's scripts sitting over here in this corner that just kind of like a walkthrough of everything you need to do, the 5 steps to, stage a home, or the 5 steps of this, what you talked about. I've never really done that stuff. I stuck to the Wilco Eats, but you're right. When I first got going in everything, all I concentrated on 100% was real estate. And so that did help me really give me the direction of the places I was going and help me find my audience. So it's who was still there after I was doing 100%, who was left, to the building blocks, the foundation, to build even more. So when I did get into knowing that people didn't care about the real estate that much anymore, because I had given them so much real estate, that now they cared about the other things. And so you're right. I kind of reverse engineer that, and you just helped me realize that. So I appreciate that. Moving on to number 3 here, the perfect way to reach all demographics. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so
pretty self-explanatory.
YouTube, yeah, it really is. YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world right now. Obviously owned by Google. I think most people know that. You type something into Google, which everybody does, that it's a whole phrase, Google this, or Google something. That's where people are looking for stuff. And there's the tabs across the top. It has all videos, photos, whatever, images. I mean, not photos, say images, and then videos. And the videos, that's where those are YouTube videos that come up always, right? They're always YouTube videos because that's what Google's pushing. So, and everybody's on there. Like you told me, you were talking about earlier, your dad's on there. You can do anything on YouTube. And that's why, number 1 last week was the how-to videos. Everybody's looking at how-to. Why would anybody care how to replace a motor in a dryer? Normally, who would care about that? I checked one the other day because I was looking at mine. Something was wrong. Had like 70,000 views. I know 70,000 people don't care enough about replacing it, just for fun. They Googled, how do I replace in a Whirlpool dryer or whatever, a motor, and so but everybody's looking at that. That's 20-year-olds who are in their getting into their first house, or they're at their apartment trying to fix something, all the way up to 70-year-old people. So you can reach a ton of people, and a lot, you're spreading yourself all over the place basically by having the YouTube channel and being reachable.
Definitely. I was researching something because I this morning, I didn't even pay attention to the views, but I'm looking to replace my golf cart seats. Right. And so I need just the replacements for them. And there's 2 ways to do it. You can just buy the bench for X amount of dollars and bring it in and, screw them in and you're done. Right. Well, that costs $400 to $500. And I'm like, well, I see these seat covers on here that they sell that are specifically for my model of golf cart that I can just get. And then the tips of doing it. But it's like right here, easy go. Golf cart seat covers, installation, 5 minutes and 41 seconds long for the video, 65,000 views.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. And then, it goes anywhere from, see if we can find another one, 28,000 views, 75,000 views. And they're just all different, there's 100 different ways to do it. But if I was the typical, I'd say, I hope this doesn't sound bad, the typical realtor, I would say that I look at that and I'm like, oh, I want to do this video on this subject. All of a sudden you go research and like, oh, somebody's already done it. I'm not going to do it, and that's been a part of my group's thinking for a while, and I think everybody out there knows who my group is, Marshall and everybody else, and James and Jason and Steven, as they go to look at these. Oh, I was going to do a video on this, but so-and-so already did it, so I got to come up with something else. That's
motivation. That's how I come up with my topics. I go to people who are successful. I look at their page and I see, because they have videos that bomb. People who do it all the time, it's like 40 views on one, and then they'll have the next one, 600,000 views. You're like, holy crap, like that's a big difference there. What's special about this video? One of the things I've noticed, just as kind of a side note, it's got a number in it. Hence the 5 reasons, right, for a YouTube channel, for real estate. But it does. People like lists, I think, in general, but those are some of the most watched videos. So then I'll go and I'll watch their video and I'll say, wow, they did a really good job at this, but I think it could be better here. and then I'll make my own video, and it turns out not very much like theirs, but we could even have a similar title.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what you said right there, it's like, to continue on your side note, is that when we do label things like that and there's specific actionable items that people can use in their everyday business, those podcasts and videos that we do tend to do a lot better on the analytics. We look at them and say, here's the top 5 things to do as a new real estate agent, right? And so that's what goes out there. That's what goes in the SEO. So people start Googling that. Our videos continue. The ones that we have 130, 40, 50 podcasts out there. And then the ones that are very specific to tell you what actionable item we're going to cover, people watch. And so it's all about the title also. So in these whole things, we haven't even talked about this, and we'll do another podcast on this, but it's really the titles. And some people they have creative ways of calling it clickbait or whatever else, but it needs to be something, not necessarily clickbait. I think that's like a bad word. But it needs to be something that's clickable, interesting, and gets somebody excited
you
about
want it to grab attention,
right? An attention getter to grab the link and start watching the video. And then first impressions are everything, and so you've got about 6 or 7 seconds to really reel them in with the first of your content. And that's a lot of the reasons we do an intro part before we break into an intro and outro of a video. An intro to a video is explain what the video is going to be about, and then bam, go into the intro. And really the intro should
first
really
statement should be a hook. We could do a whole podcast on this about how kind of they should be structured, right? But
which we will.
That hook, right? You got to ask that question. What's the question in the beginning? What problem are you solving?
Right.
Even if it's entertainment, you're still solving, somebody, you need to be asking something. Or
right now, I would say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, you need a hook. You got to have that first line to keep them interested, because people are like I think goldfish have a memory of like 8 seconds. That's kind of how people are with attention spans.
Right. Well, it's kind of like we had talked about before. One thing that you're really good is doing farming and mailing. I've always been taught when I do mail outs is that I need a postcard that captures someone's attention for 7 seconds on that trip down to the trash can. That they're reading it down to the trash can. And my goal is, as it's going down to the trash can, they're reading it and they pull it back up and like, ooh, that's interesting. And so that's what I'm after every time when I do that type of stuff. I don't ever send out a flyer, or I don't ever want to make a video anymore that's just to fill that void, right? Of that, okay, I didn't do a video this week, so I'm going to do a really quick one, and I'm guilty of this with the podcast actually. Is like, man, we don't have anything to talk about. I'm really busy this week, but I have to stay consistent with the podcast and have to get one out. Let's just talk about bleh real quick, right? And there's not a lot of value there. And you can see it in our analytics when you're like, hey, we did that one on the fly. Yeah. We didn't.
You're phoning it in, right?
Topic, a subject. Yeah, we're just getting it in. And then all of a sudden, it's only got 1,000 listens. And I'm being a little bit liberal there. It's only got 1,000 listens, and so I'm like, man, we really need to stick to this. It's like and stick to our planning. And so I think that's with the content as well. I don't know where we are on the list. I think we're between 3 and 4. Is that you have to sit down and think out your content and write it down. If you it's just like our business, man. If you fail to plan, you can plan to fail. And if you're not sitting down and planning your videos out and having something to talk about and making it interesting, I would plan to fail at doing this stuff. But that's okay, because the great thing about it is that you can pivot, restructure.
Yeah, and get on that same note there, though, I think it is important to say that your videos they get like, I think a lot of people get into that analysis paralysis. Just start. If you're just starting out, I was just listening to another podcast, or it was actually a YouTube video this morning of a guy over at Think Media, and he was talking about just get your first ones are gonna suck. They're gonna be terrible, and they're gonna be absolutely terrible. But it's more important to just get them out there, and then work on all this other stuff. Get 5 or 6 videos in and then go, you know what? I think I can change my titles. That'll make it a little better. Yeah. I think I can work on my voice. I think I can, maybe I need to check into get a better microphone or, something. I don't know. There's always things you can improve, but it's a process. It's not if you keep waiting to put out that perfect video, you'll never put out a video.
No. I'm like I said, I see this all the time now. Every other day I'll have something pop up. Like I've been doing video for so long. I just wasn't doing YouTube video. I was doing a lot of stuff that I would just redistribute on Facebook. And I would just turn the phone around and just take that uncut, unedited, no sound, no lighting, no nothing videos, and I'd throw them out there. Well, I'm getting those reminders in the morning, like, the on this day 4 years ago, you did a video and here it is. And it's me out on like the local river, like, camera turned around. It's horrible. I'm screaming at the phone and whatever else. But then I looked down and it had quite a bit of views, but people forget about that stuff. People forget about how maybe shaky it was or whatever else. They just remember you.
Right.
And so
yeah,
I know anything works, right? And I think it's a progression. Like I said, I keep coming from that standpoint that maybe I'm not thinking about when I first started. But you're correcting me on all those, so I appreciate it. And bringing me back to the podcast topic is why you should start a channel now if you don't have one. So I've had one for quite some time. I just never really put my heart and soul into it. And I'm using YouTube now is going to be my number one focus factor. And I'm going to pour everything I can into that channel. And I know you're doing the same thing.
Yep. That was my deal at the beginning of the year. I say, and that leads us right into number 4, video marketing is where it's at. It is where it's at. That's the direction everything is going. And not only video marketing for just kind of what we're going to get into in 5 there about how you can actually help your clients, but with the way, especially up here in New York, the way that the coronavirus hit us, everything's going virtual. That's why this week's video will be about how to sell a home virtually and what kind of products we can offer to people as far as tours, as far as, really high quality pictures, virtual open houses, all these kind of things, showing time. You guys use showing time? I think it's a national deal, right? So
I think we just got rid of it.
Oh, did you? So showing
Austin
time,
fought it pretty hard because we didn't have it for so many years, and then they made us use it. And then all the realtors kind of threw up their fingers like, no. You don't.
So showing time's the thing up here, right? And I had an email as I was jumping on this morning that they came out with a showing time live deal, right? So you can use, and that's part of the thing we're going to go over is how you can do these tours. There's no excuse to not do a tour. You can do FaceTime. You can do Facebook Live. You can do showing time live now. You can do, I like 3 of them written down. Just Zoom, if you want to. There's all kinds of different ways to do it.
Right.
But video is the way that it's going. Whether you're going to be putting it out on YouTube to a large scale, you might as well be able to recycle it, right? If somebody wants to see the inside of a house, or you can show a client, hey, look, this is what we do to market your property. So even though nobody's necessarily going to be going and searching the interior of 123 Main Street, 3 years later, you can bring it back up, and you can almost repurpose it as evergreen content and say, hey, look, this is how we're going to show your house to other people.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah, totally. Because the thing about repurposing it is that I have Melanie in the other room right now. That's what she's doing, is she's taken all 5 of my channels that I've had that have different email addresses and everything else, and she's bringing all the videos in. And now we've learned to title videos better to where they actually get more clicks, or they come up in the SEO. Like on my Wilco Eats video, quick example that popped in my head was that I would start off with Wilco Eats visits Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't perform as well as, because I have them on 2 different channels. And since I changed the title, I see that I'm getting more and more and more views on the one. Now I start it with Heart Attack Grill Las Vegas, because that's the Googleable name, right? And so when people put that in, I just put, Heart Attack Grill Las Vegas, Wilco Eats visits, and blah, blah, blah. I don't care about the title. It's only about the click of Heart Attack Grill, here's a video. And they click on it to see that. Then it immediately goes in. And then when in your description, you hit Heart Attack Grill, and I can hit Wilco Eats. And then in your keywords, you can hit Heart Attack Grill, everything else. Mm-hmm. And now you're getting better at this repurposing this video. Anything that I did in 2018 and 2019 that's instructional or how to, I've gone back since it's evergreen content and changed to 2020. Because people want to see the most current things, they put in 2020. No one's searching, just kind of join, the 7-minute video with EXP 2019. Everybody's putting 2020 because they want to see the latest one out there, right? And so that's one I can tell you, if you go in there and you look for, the EXP explained, and I'm only going off this reference. It just happens to be that coincidental that it's about joining EXP. But you go in there and you say EXP explained 2020. I'm one of the top 3 videos that comes up every single time, And so now, I'm sure other realtors will hear me that are with EXP and they'll go change theirs to 2020. I'm okay with that because I've got a 5-month jump on you of SEO in my favor because I changed it at the beginning of the year. Right.
Right.
So anyway, good thing there. video marketing is completely where it's at. I was never really sold on this until the past couple years, and it's really what has given me some notoriety in my market and lets people know it's coupled with, if I do it strategically right, if I make a video and I put it out on Facebook and then I put my sign in the ground and I use the same pretty much picture that I have on my sign, and I use the same pretty much picture I use for thumbnails on my videos or other marketing that I do, it all stays relevant into where people can drive down the street. I mean, I've got realtors saying, dude, you're everywhere. Cool. That's what I want to hear. I mean, that's exactly what I want to give you, the perception that I'm everywhere, because I'm not everywhere. It's just, I've strategically done some things that I stay present and I stay omnipresent in front of people constantly. And then I just build that top of mind awareness. And so when they do see my sign or they see whatever else, like in my marketing stuff, or they see me on something, they come to a postcard, they do think of me. But YouTube has been helping me circumvent a lot of the legwork that it takes to do that. I can cheat with YouTube.
Yeah, which leads us right into number 5, the time-saving side of everything, especially as a real estate agent. So there's we were, kind of had mentioned a little bit before the deal, we were talking offline about how many times do you want to tell a client how to stage a home? How many times do you want to tell them what to expect at a listing appointment? How many times do you want to sit there and go through what they should expect once they get an offer? Sit down and make a video of it. You can do this on iMovie on an iPhone. I don't know what the Android version is, but I'm sure there's one. It's free. You just sit down, turn the camera around. If you don't even have a holder, set it on a book and you can get as creative as you want with the whole deal, but hold the contracts up. Hey, look, you're going to have to do, X, Y, and Z. When we get a contract, these are the dates. These are what these dates mean. Mm-hmm. But because people don't know, a lot of, people, maybe they've never bought a house, or maybe they haven't bought or sold a house in 25 years. And you want them to be educated and informed, right? Because it's a big decision for them. So instead of explaining all of these things you're going to notice, especially there's things that come up in every listing appointment. There's things that come up every time you have a buyer consult, every time. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you reach out to them first, you say, hey, can you do me a favor? I'm going to send you the link to my YouTube page. Go to my buyers playlist. If you have any questions about any of that stuff, just click on those videos and take a look at it before we have our buyers, take a look at whatever you have a question about. And then if you have any, further questions, we'll get them answered at the buyer consult. You're going to eliminate, not only are you going to eliminate about 95% of the questions, you're also, especially if you're competing for a listing or something, you're really going to set yourself apart. They're not going to, like we've talked about before, they can't distinguish between a celebrity and you on the phone. They're watching Netflix and they're seeing all these people, doing whatever. And then you come across their deal on YouTube, you kind of have that same status in their brain to them. And so now you're competing at a listing, but they've just watched an hour and a half, maybe, of videos of you answering their questions. I mean, that's not even close. Yeah, I send them to mine. I just sent one last week to, we're kind of still shut down somewhat up here in New York, and a lot of people are kind of waiting for it to open back up. And a lady said we're coming on the market. It's supposed to be May. Now it's probably pushed back to June. And she said, what do? I just sent her my 5 top things to do to get a home ready to sell. And she loved it. She thought it was perfect.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head there, because it builds that parasocial behavior, which you're talking about right there, where they can't really differentiate you as that trusted professional, that the same people they see on TV, the guy telling them to go out and buy the perfect vacuum cleaner, right? Or,
mm-hmm.
The guy that's selling like OxyClean or whatever else, you
right.
get to kind of be that professional as well, that really validates the reasons. And when you're doing those like top 5 how-to videos, or the top 5 reasons you should do this, it's going to strike a chord with most of the people you're sending something out to, and give you some validation and make you that trusted source, right? And so right off the bat, you hit a nail on the head, because when they did sell something 25 years ago, it activates their RAS back here, and like, oh, okay, I do remember that. Real estate hasn't really necessarily
mm-hmm.
changed. The deal wise hasn't changed in 25 years. The contracts have gotten fatter. There's more real estate agents these days, but however, the process is pretty much still the same. And when you explain it to them, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is coming back to me now. Like it gives you that really just that it builds that trust with them that they're looking for, because people do
Yeah.
business with people they know, like, and trust, right? So,
Right.
you hit the nail on the head there. One of the things that I was thinking too was that a lot of these people are like, okay, well, how do I use this for marketing? That's great. These are for clients that I already have, right? And so I put this out because if someone's looking at listing a house with me, I send them this video. Well, how do I get the listing? There's plenty of stuff there. We'll do some series on really marketing with YouTube and what you should do. I won't give you a ton, but like even right now, a fantastic one would be to appeal to, say, for sale by owners. Ryan and I both have competed for sale by owners, not against each other. However, we see for sale by owners, we go, we knock on the door, we send them something in the mail, we make the phone call to them, and all that's really uncomfortable. The cool thing
Usually
is
all three.
most for sale by owners list their actual phone number on there that typically is their cell phone number, right?
Yep.
And so once they run their cell phone number on there, guess what you can do? You can send them a YouTube link to your video of a video you made, making you the professional that sells for sale by owners. And here's the reason why. Top 5 reasons to use a realtor and not sell it for sale by owner. And now these videos have been done. You're not going to create anything that's really kind of new. You can go out there and you can find the ideas to find 5 things that would resonate with the for sale by owner to help you get in front of them. And then you follow up that with another text. And so we'll get into a whole, as we progress here, more than likely, we're going to be doing a lot more videos on YouTube and YouTube marketing. And we're going to become really hyper-focused on doing these YouTube stuff and sharing everything that we're doing with you, the listener of Real Estate on the Rocks. And so if you have any specific questions, you can certainly send those, text them over to me at 512-773-6461 or text Ryan over at
518-902-8802.
So either one of those, I would say that you should text first. Before we are real estate agents, so we are on the phone quite a lot. And then I do field numbers that I don't know the area code. So definitely if you're calling or texting from out of town or calling from out of town, I typically don't pick up. However, a text always comes in and I can tell who you are. But I would love to hear, what you want to learn about YouTube, what we can focus on for you on YouTube, what questions you have, or what you can share. If I got anything wrong or if Ryan got anything wrong about starting a YouTube channel, let us know where we went wrong and we could learn from you. I'd really appreciate that. What else you got, Ryan?
The 5 reasons to start a YouTube channel for agents. I mean, it really just boils down to, if you want to be relevant, I think in the next 5 years as an agent, you're going to have to. Maybe not YouTube. I mean, YouTube's obviously a great platform. It's a search platform, which is why you're on it. But you're going to have to get comfortable with video. So do it now. At some point, you're going to have to get comfortable with video.
Yeah.
That's just all there is to it. I mean, I don't see any way around it, really, the way things are going.
And for those that are not uncomfortable with video, that are very comfortable but think that YouTube is saturated, you are mistaken. Someone did a study to where I believe there's 1.9 million hours a month watched of YouTube, and so they're coming in from all the different directions. So if you go back over to here for number 3, it's perfect. That's a perfect way to reach all demographics. Everybody's watching YouTube these days. More people are cutting the cord. Yeah. There's lots of shows on YouTube that people watch. How are you positioning yourself with your content, your keywords, everything else, to when that video ends, your video pops up? How does it stay relevant? If someone searches how to sell your home and Ryan's video comes up, what's the crapshoot of me coming up next after Ryan's video if I have a similar topic? It's actually, the chances are pretty good, right? And so if people are out there doing research, as Ryan nailed it before, Google owns YouTube. Google positions everything on YouTube to be the first seen when it comes to videos, not Facebook. Facebook and YouTube are competitors. All right. And Facebook will continue to add value to all of us with Facebook ads, but they do not have the reach that Google has. They do not have the reach. They've been hyper-focused on other things. They've been focused on, starting up the next app for the next youngest kid, which came Instagram, then came stories. And now they're looking at doing some sort of TikTok app. I don't know if they're really hyper-focused. I'm sure Facebook's big enough to where they can concentrate on multiple things at one time, to where, it's a dangerous subject for us to concentrate on multiple things at one time. But, it doesn't seem like they're really putting out the applications for content video, and then it becomes really searchable. If I search things on Facebook, rarely do I find videos that come up that are informative. Do you?
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you ever use but I'll put videos in there for the hell of it to see if I can find something. Even if I go to that specific group, say like that one group, RATV, I'll put in their YouTube and, you know, I mean, or YouTube videos or YouTube channels, and it's just, it's a rough search, you know?
It is.
And so they're not really in control of the search game.
No, I use Facebook to push my YouTube channel. Actually, I run paid ads on Facebook to push the YouTube stuff. I know you're not supposed to, right? I mean, that's what they say but that's how I'm trying to build a YouTube channel where I'm trying to just get the people in. So I use it as another advertising platform. Right. It's hard to get people from Facebook, right? Because you said they're competitors. Facebook doesn't like YouTube, and YouTube doesn't really like Facebook stuff. So, you know, they say upload them separately to get the most reach, but I don't necessarily care about building a search engine on Facebook. I don't care because it doesn't work. Like you said, they don't have the search game. YouTube does. So I'm just using them as an advertising platform to get people over to my YouTube page.
Right. And so what they're trying to do, and I learned this term a while ago, and it's the same thing with our real estate websites, right? Is that we want to make the page sticky. You know, we want to make it sticky. So YouTube likes YouTube. So when you're on YouTube, they don't want to give you a bunch of links to jump off YouTube and go over to Facebook and then lose interest in what was ever going on YouTube because it takes away from their advertising dollars. Same thing with Facebook. Is Facebook doesn't like or doesn't favor in the algorithm YouTube videos for that same reason. They don't want you leaving. They don't want you clicking on a story and ending up over here. You know, it's kind of like news stories that you see and it's a clickbait thing, and then you click on that and it redirects you over here. It's never about the news. They're trying to sell you something on that page, right? To get you to click and stay over there. Facebook doesn't care for that very much. And so that's why it kills your algorithm. And sometimes you'll see that the video performs right off the bat rather well. I think, you know, within the first hour you can have, 100 views. And the next thing, you know, after that, you know, 2 days later, it's only got 107 views because the algorithm caught on. And like I said, if I'm wrong about this, let me know. This is my opinion of it. Once the algorithm catches on, it just shuts your video down, you know, but it's there when you need it. So if it's on my real estate page and it's a YouTube video and I send people to my page, they can thumb through and look at it. However, It's not being found through searchable content over here on Facebook. So what you want to do, I hope I didn't confuse me because I'm actually confusing myself, was that you really want to keep it on YouTube and YouTube first, and then you chop it up in segments and don't put the whole video typically on Facebook. And this is the way, and I can go through here because we have this schedule of what you're supposed to do between, you know, shooting it on YouTube, what you do over on Instagram that funnels you over to Facebook, that funnels you over, you know, gives you 30 seconds on Insta, gives you a minute over on Facebook, and then kicks you over to YouTube and gives you the full 10 minutes, right? And so that's where you really want people. And then you want them to like and subscribe. The same thing you have over with Facebook, you want them to like and subscribe and build trust with them. So they're the people that are watching your videos. And every time you put a new video out, that bell goes off and shows whoever subscribed to you, whoever your fans are, whoever your audience is. It really shows them that you're putting out consistent content, you're consistent in what you do, and you're staying top of mind aware with everybody you're building the audience with. So like I said, that was a long drawn out process, but that's what this is a long drawn out process. But the easiest top 5 things to do, we just laid it out right there for you. But the main one is number 1, what'd you come up with first? Why the hell not? The reason why you should do a YouTube page is why the hell not?
Why the hell not?
It's definitely not going to hurt
your
you.
Audience.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to hurt you in helping you find your audience and helping you grow. And if you're uncomfortable in doing these things like video, go with the Facebook stories route or the Instagram stories route. I used to say Snapchat because it was only an 8-second video, but turn it around and just say something, get those jitters out, and it'll get more comfortable. You'll get better at it. You'll lose a lot of the uhs and the overthinking things like I do. But I think that's part of me that makes me, you know, I mean, I say the uhs and all that other stuff in person. So people are getting me. You don't need a radio voice. You don't need a persona. You don't need to dress up. You know, like I wear a sports coat sometimes that I do things with a white shirt. And Melanie's like, anybody that ever meets you is never going to meet you in a sports coat. You don't show up to the appointments like that. You show up in an untucked polo with blue jeans and boots on, you know? So I would start doing all your videos with blue jeans and boots and not the sports coat. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like I'll try it that way, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, all good stuff. Get started, turn it around, do it today. It's real easy to sign up.
Yeah. Let us know if you need anything. I'm going to drop a quick EXP plug real quick. So if you're interested in EXP, there's never been a better time to join EXP. We've got a referral arm going on right now that we're building with EXP. That's going to be a nationwide arm, and it's going to be a pay-to-play type thing to where, obviously there's a 25% referral fee involved with it. And so we're going to have leads all over the US. And so we're really trying to solidify this or build this referral group. This will be a fun one to build over time, and it'll take some time to get it there. However, we've got referrals everywhere. Lots of people that listen to the show send us referrals here in Austin, Texas. We certainly appreciate it. Keep those coming. We do reciprocate. You become on our list. If we've got something in New York, we send it over to Ryan. No matter where in New York, he'll drive anywhere. And then yeah, right. And so we really want to talk to you a little bit more about referrals. So pay attention to that. We're going to be doing that in the future. If you want to know more about EXP, just text join EXP, one word, to 88000. Don't forget about Mike Harrell over at Guaranteed Rate. If you want to talk to him, same code, but it's Magic Mike over at 88000. Ryan, you already give us your phone number. Is that the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, just shoot me a text, 518-902-8802.
Cool, man. And mine is 512-773-6461. We appreciate you listening, and we will be back with more content about YouTube over the next coming weeks, and we've got some other surprises in store for you. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a fellow realtor. We'll see you next time.